man Big RT and my man Slick Rick E. Slick Rick. Slick Rick E. Folks, how y'all doing, man? I got these two handsome gentlemen with me this morning, man. I know we missed RT last week, but he's back in studio, and when he's back, that means this show's gonna be hot, like I always say, like Denny's hot cakes. If you don't like Denny's, you can catch them at Jimmy's Eggs or the IHOP. But a person like myself, I love the Waffle House because they got good grits. Ask somebody. What's going on, gentlemen?
Well, I was starving. That's why I came back, man, so we can make some picks for this tonight, this week, and it's time for me to get fed again.
Last week, I have to say, I did pretty good. I hit on some big ones, man, and I tell you, man, last week I had a pretty good show. I know you wasn't here, and Coach Blink took your spot, and he's a hell of a guy to have in the show, man, because he gets it rocking and rolling, even though he looks like he's about 14.
I thought that was the player when it first. I was like, wait a minute, is that the coach or the player? But that's probably why they winning. Man, he's doing big things out there. He can kind of relate to him.
Yeah, he's doing big things out there, man. I like what he's doing because he's going against the Carl Albert, Choctaw, McLeod, Bethel, Jones, all the schools around this area, and he's starting to keep his kids in the house. Mm-hmm. Robert Jones kind of talked about on the Coach's Show. If you can keep your kids in the house and ain't nobody going around trick-or-treating, and you know what that means, this Sunday is trick-or-treat. Come grab your treat, and ain't nobody stealing your players. Good things can happen in your program. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just keeping it
Keeping it 100.
That's all I like to do, folks, because if you get out of line, you already know what I'm going to do.
What you going to do, Tony?
I'm going to bring out the And like I told you, this is known for to swat you away, and it's also to keep the haters away.
Man.
Because what we do is keep it 100. But let's get this started. This party started, Big E. What you got on the map for us today?
Got, Big E?
Let's talk a little bit of college football. I love me some college football.
Big E, get it started, baby. Get it started.
Right. So let's talk about OU a little bit. Had a scare against Kansas, which as an OU fan hurts to say.
Yeah.
But they found a way to win.
Why do you think that?
Because it's Kansas.
They didn't prepare for them?
I mean, it doesn't look like they did. Came out there and Kansas did whatever they wanted to do in the first half.
Well, I'm going to say because Kansas know they're not going to a bowl game. When you bring a team like Oklahoma in and you're trying to get recruits to come to your school and you can say, hey, we played OU to a tight game. Yep. Hey, we add you to our program. You might be the missing piece to help us beat them. But Kansas came out and played a great game. OU didn't take that game serious, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Williams threw his first pick. OU could do what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. I just tell you, Kansas played a great game. I mean, big shout out to old boy, the linebacker, Potter, kid out of Broken Arrow. Got a chance to know him and his dad, done some stuff with them, with wrestling. He wrestled for Broken Arrow back in the day. But, just to get to know that guy, he had a hell of a game playing linebacker. One of our other kids from Oklahoma, Deuce, out of Moore, he's hurt, so he didn't get to play. But yeah. I thought Kansas played a really good ball game. And you're going to get everybody's best ball game. You're in week 8, week 9. Everybody's trying to knock you off. And we'll talk about with some of these high school teams. Some of these guys already got playoffs positions sold up. Yep. But their championship game is you when you come to the house or they come to your house. So kudos to Kansas. They did a great job. But guess what, Kansas? You still Kansas.
Yeah, and then that heads-up play that Caleb Williams had, I was watching that, and I saw, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that in a long time. But, at first I watched it, I was like, oh, that can't be legal.
Right.
I thought, I was like, man, that was smart, but that's coming back.
Yeah.
And then I started getting on Twitter, and people start tweeting out the rule book and, what it says in there. I was like, oh, they can do that. So that was a heck of a play. And here's another thing. I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think, if Caleb Williams keeps playing the way he's been playing the past couple games,
you gonna say Heisman?
Do you think he could win the Heisman?
I don't know if he can win it. I think he's gonna get invited because he is he's a different breed cat. Got his fingernails painted, but
why he got it painted?
RT, you educated me. He got him painted because his mom owns a salon. So what is that? Free advertisement.
There you go.
There's nothing wrong with that. I stock shelves for a living, so if I could put some of my beverages
whatever
up here,
works.
Whatever works. But I'm saying if I could put some of my beverages up there, it'll promote my company, but I would have to do the NA brands, not the major brands. But no, I think he will get invited to the place because he's done enough, man. I mean, he's thrown one pick, but he got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 touchdowns. Yeah. The team is all about him, man. You can see on the sidelines, man, they're all about him, man.
As well as the fans.
And that's helped the defense. And the defense is still kind of beat up. I think once they get everything going, they're going to be fine. they'll play for the Big 12 championship. Are they probably going to get beat before then? Probably. They're usually their kryptonite is usually Baylor. Oklahoma State, Iowa State. Iowa State's a good ball team. I know we're going to talk about them in a minute. Yeah. But, yes, I do think he'll get invited.
Okay. I think if he finds a way to win out regular season and, they, of course, it's going to be in the Big 12 championship, man, I can see him easily in the top 3 if he continues to do what he's doing. That play that you mentioned, Big E, taking the ball from the running back.
That's one of those Heisman moments.
Not only that, a lot of that comes from when you're out there in the backyard, the field, or in the street or whatever, and in Pee Wee ball, they do that a lot, tackle the man. And for him to be able to just think, just right in the battle, and to be able to do that, that's a ball player, man. And he sat out last year. Yeah. Ball player.
Yeah, for sure. And then talk about Rattler for a second. Me and Tony talked about this a little bit last week, but I want to hear your opinion on it. Do you think, I think it's pretty clear now that Williams is going to be the guy throughout the rest of the year and going into next season. So do you think Rattler transfers, try to build up his draft stock a little bit, or he takes that draft stock that he has right now and goes to the NFL?
If I was in his shoes, and I don't know a lot about this, so I'm probably 100% wrong. But if I was him, I'm going to go ahead and go to the NFL. I'm not going to another team where I have to prove myself, compete for the position, risk another injury or another setback, and then my stock continues to drop lower and lower. If you're as good as you say that you are and you can play at the next level, you'll get invited to the combine, and that's where you show them what you can do in addition to what you've already done at OU.
Got you.
What are y'all think?
I want to say this, watching ESPN this morning, I saw Jalen Hurts. It seemed like they're trying to get rid of him already. OU quarterback was at Alabama, took his talents to Norman, Oklahoma, became a better passer, got drafted in the first round by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Second round.
Second round. Yeah. They get rid of Wentz and bring him in as their man. But now they're talking about him, trading him, and whoever has some of the top picks next year is going to come in and probably take his spot. It just tells you, me, I think Rattler should go to another school. I kind of mentioned it last week. I think he goes to Arizona State, and the Herm Edwards, a guy that's played in the NFL, that's taught, that's had, college, quarterbacks and made them into NFL quarterbacks. He goes to Arizona, and that's where he's from. That's his home. His mom and dad can be right next to him. I just think the guy needs to still a little bit more mature enough to do. You watch his body language, his face impression. I tell my kid all the time, man, she can miss a shot, and you can just see it all over the face. My son was like that. Gabe was like that. And they're so funny. Those two kids are so much alike. And Gabe is a boy, so I can shake him. But Zoe is my baby, so I can't shake her. But I just said, so I think that body language tells a lot. And when you're getting drafted, it's not a college it's still a job, but it's fun. But the NFL, it's a job. Yeah. I mean, people are coming to pay tickets to come watch you. So I think he needs to change up that body language. I think he needs to grow up. I mean, he's still a young man. I mean, the kid's but maybe 20, maybe 21, but he's always smacking them gum. He got the earrings in his ear, got the ball cap on. Back of his mind, he's probably want Caleb Williams to screw up when he get his job back. But you can see the two differences. And me and he kind of talked about this last week. Like, why was he 1 and Caleb 2? Well, I just think because kind of like you said, if he leaves tomorrow, they don't have a backup quarterback. Yeah. But if he's there and he started the season and he goes down, then you still got Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. But if he goes down and if Caleb goes down and he's gone, you don't have any QB. No. So I think that's one of the reasons Lincoln's still trying to pacify him, give him love, pat him on the back, tell him how good he is. Mm-hmm. Tell everything that he wants because he don't want him to leave. He made a statement. Guys will leave. They don't turn out good. Blah blah blah. But kids leave every day. I mean, you're seeing that in the high school portals that, the high school, getting recruited. You see a lot of these kids are studs and they're not getting recruited. Brandon Presley, the kid is over at Bigsby. He's getting recruited because he started getting recruited 2 years ago. Yeah. The numbers he's put up. But you see a lot of these kids are putting up big numbers. I mean, Dale City got that big, running back, linebacker, great sized kid. You can't. Everybody talk about the eye test. This kid's passed the eye test, and he's fast. He's a 4.5, 4.6 kid. Jason Smith's his name. He was on the Jones Show with us. But I just tell you, you look at this kid, you're like, holy cow, why this kid? Even the Cox guy said the same thing last week in the game. Like, how's this kid not have any offers? But why would he have an offer? You can go to the transfer portal and go get a kid that's played 2 or 3 years, that's already got the college experience, knows been in big ball games and stuff like that. So I just tell you right now, man, it's going to be hard for some of these kids to get recruited because of the simple fact, why do I need to go get a 17, 18-year-old kid and I go get a grown man that's already in the portal that can come help me right now? I don't care if he's at Baptist College or whatever he's at, but you can go get him right now. So I think, Spencer, take your butt to Arizona or what school, and go do your thing, then go to the draft, because I just don't think I think right now if he goes to the draft, he goes fourth round.
I think the reason why he should go to the NFL is, where is he going to find a better quarterback coach than where he's at right now? Lincoln Riley's the best quarterback coach, is the best coach. Like, every top quarterback in the nation wants to get that coaching from Lincoln Riley. Where is he going to get that from?
I'm going to disagree with you on this. I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think he needs a quarterback coach.
I think he does.
Why?
The decisions that he's making in games. But
he's been with Lincoln Riley for 2 or 3 years now. He's gonna make those throws because in the back of his mind he thinks.
And this is why I think he needs to go to the NFL, where he can sit behind an NFL quarterback for a few years.
But I'm gonna
tell you learn about some of those things.
I'm gonna tell you.
Wait for him to get behind an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady or somebody like that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, he's been with Lincoln Riley for 2 to 3 years, and guess what? He's that type of person. He's not gonna change his.
Well, maybe he's just good enough at the next level to be a backup or a practice squad QB. But to both of y'all's point. Before the Texas game, what were the OU fans chanting?
We want Caleb.
We want Caleb. I was like, keep that thought. You mentioned he should go back home. The same home he left. And if one place is saying we want the backup, you don't have much room for error if you go back home and start making mistakes.
He came to Oklahoma because it's a big Power 5 school. You, like he said, I will give you this point.
But don't you think that the hometown people there, the fans,
Arizona State will love to have him.
I don't know, man.
Arizona State will love to have him. I'm just telling you right now, Gundy probably take him if he came to OSU. So I'm just saying the kid. The problem with the kid, I think, is more his attitude than his play. His attitude in his play. When you walk out and you're arrogant, you're cocky, people don't like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody got cockiness and arrogant. I'm a cocky ass guy myself. I mean, I'm keep it 100. But I'm gonna tell you though, at times you gotta be humble, and he's not humble. He walks up. Man, my brothers have sent me this video when he was in middle school, high school. He's dogging kids. He's telling them they suck. That's his attitude. He's not going to change. He's that kid you don't want to play with. If he went to school with Zoe or he went to school with any of our kids, we wouldn't want our kid to play with him. He just has a bad attitude. But he can change that. I think a lot of it is growing up. This is right now is making him humble. You know how hard it is for him to sit over there on that bench and chew that gum?
Yeah,
and he's chewing the shit out of that gum.
Is he?
You know what I'm saying? That poor damn gum ain't got a chance.
What he doing?
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I think this is making him humble, though. I mean, that's real talk.
The first time it ever happened.
Yes, he's always been the man on campus. You see, he got kicked out of high school. He's at a Catholic school.
But wait a minute.
Talk to me.
I hope he kind of have some of that same behavior as. I know who I'm about to say, but I want to see if you guys pick up on it. Kid wasn't the tallest, big feet, was a stud in college. You know what I mean? Had a lot of attention.
Johnny Manziel.
Boom, there it is. Is he one of them?
I think quarterbacks like that because look at Jameis Winston when he was at Florida State, still in crab legs, doing all the dumb shit he done, still in the computer. He's got away with murder, and that's what this kid is. He's gotten away with murder. He walks around like he can walk on water. But I think this is going to humble him, though. Sometimes it takes this to happen to you, man, and it's real talk. I mean, I believe in a man up above, and sometimes you got to get snatched up and turned around and smacked one time to say, hey, you know what? This is the real world. You know, and I think that's what he's going through. If you see Caleb Williams over there, man, he's over there smiling. I've never seen Spencer Rattler, the 2 years that he played at OU, go over there and pat his guy on the back or give him knuckles. Caleb Williams, man, he threw the interception. Like, that's not bad. Spencer Rattler throws an interception. He's pointing at the guy saying, it's your fault. And I think sometimes when you have a parent that always tell you never do nothing. Parents, listen to me real quick.
Listen up.
Listen up to me. You might not like what I say, but I'm telling you, when you have a parent that tells you all the time, you're the best, you're the greatest, you do no wrong, and then your coaches Yeah, they're right. You do no wrong because they're scared you're going to pack up and leave.
Yep.
Man, when you get to college, you see what's happening. Watch the Spencer Rattler show and the Caleb Williams because it's real. Because this was going to happen to some of you kids when y'all go off to college because all you hear is how good you are. You do no wrong. But then you get in the real world and there's going to be somebody better than you. There's always somebody better than you. And I tell people that all the time. You might be the best looking guy in the world, but there's always somebody better looking than you. You might have the best shoes, but there's always going to have somebody better pair of shoes than you. That's just how life is, man. I mean, we was put here for a certain reason, but if you hear that you're the greatest and you're the best, you're always going to be nothing but the best, guess what? When you fall on your face, it's hard to get up because you've always got up and ran. You never had to crawl. That's keeping it 100.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about...
Sir, you are.
Let's talk about the little brother team in college football. OSU, they took a loss to Iowa State this past weekend. So.
Is that what we doing?
Yeah.
Little brother.
Little brother.
So OU is the Bixby, and the gold standard is the little brother.
Oh, he taking shots at you.
All right.
Pow, 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 pow. Why are we taking shots?
Let's talk about. We talking about college right now, RT. We talking about college ball.
That was an analogy. I just had to be able to relate to it.
OSU took a tough loss, man. I'm gonna tell you right there. They shouldn't have lost the ball game, or the game should have went overtime. But I'm just saying. I mean, that's a tough loss. And RT, I'll let you speak on it because I know. You like that orange and black, and the only time you should really wear orange and black is this Sunday because it's Halloween.
God. So y'all done took his pistols and shot at me with them. No, I'm definitely an OSU fan. Man, it's just like you guys said, Iowa State, they're a really good team.
They are.
It's their kryptonite.
Yeah, I mean the same for OU as well, but really, ultimately. On that fourth down, I think they should have went for it. It was fourth, not even a yard, and we kicked the field goal, missed it, and they end up losing by that field goal. But one thing I want to talk about is that defense. Jim Knowles, man, year after year, he continues to make the defense even better after they lose several key players, but it's the defense that's keeping them around. The last few years, OSU struggled a bit on that offensive line, which doesn't give Spencer Sanders the time needed to, start looking downfield more to a kid like Presley or Martin and other individuals like that are great receivers that can do a lot more if they have more opportunities. But I was hoping that both OSU and OU remain undefeated until they saw each other.
Yes, sir. Me too.
And I'm hoping that maybe this is OSU's last loss so that when they do see each other in Bedlam, they play each other back-to-back, Big 12 championship. That'd be real nice and would really help both of them as far as the playoffs because you never know who may lose. Alabama lost already.
I'll tell you this, RT. I think OSU has a defense to win a national championship. OU's offense, if you put them both together, you got one hell of a team. But OU's defense seemed to struggle, and everybody talked about, Mike Stoops, and you're still having the same problems with Grinch, and I think he's a great coach. And I saw something the other day that he might be up for a head coach. So, he's young and energetic, and he's bringing some kids in. But sometimes it just don't pan out. I mean, I think Lincoln Riley is the offensive mind, man. Like he said earlier, he's a quarterback guru, and the quarterback's going to come to him. He's going to get any quarterback he wants. But I just think OSU's defense is amazing. I mean, they just come out and play ball. They hit you in the mouth. Yeah. They got some of the starters hurt. Jason Taylor stepped up and made some big plays this year. And I just tell you, I mean, the running back, they found a running back. I don't know if they found that go-to receiver yet. They're still looking. I know the kid that transferred, and then, I know Presley and some of those other guys has been kind of like receiver by committee, but I think they got the running back. People's kind of down on Sanders, but I think he does enough. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I think he does enough to win ball games at OSU. I don't know if they got I don't even know if they got the quarterback on campus that's going to take him to that next level. But OSU be fine.
That backup is nice.
He's big, but he can't run though. I mean, he gets guy.
But now you just said that they have a running back, got a nice running game.
How long? How many years that guy going to be here?
Well, I'm saying if you switched them out now.
Yeah, but they're not going to switch that quarterback out now, though. I mean,
no, they did it up there at OU, so maybe Gundy was looking for some advice. So there you go, keep it 100. That's it. Get that guy a chance.
But I mean, it was a tough loss, so I think I think they got the first down on the play. Everybody kind of grabbed about, but don't put it down to that. All of us as coach or play ball. Don't put it down to the last play of the game. I mean, go take care of business before you have to. So I think OSU had every opportunity to win the ball game, but they just didn't do it. Missing the field goal and stuff like that. But I think they'll be fine. They're going to find a way to get back in the Big 12. I mean, they lost that one game. OU's going to have a hiccup before they get, before it happens. Baylor, Iowa State.
OU's got a tough schedule.
Yeah, so they got some teams that's coming up that can hit them. I mean, you play Kansas like that. Granted, they was up for the game or not up for the game. Everybody's thinking, hey, Spencer Rattler's going to be playing the second half. But I'll be truly, folks, I don't know if Spencer get in the game. I think he's too prideful that he's not going to get in the game. He's like, I ain't going to get in the game. So you might see a backup. I don't even know who their backup is. I know he kind of mentioned it.
There's a guy named Ralph Rucker. Then there's so Ralph Rucker is like the third string, which kind of surprised me that he came up. I think he's a true freshman. And you got Ben Harris there from Carl Albert and then you got Micah Bowens that transferred from Penn State. I was kind of surprised that he wasn't that third string guy, but they got depth at quarterback. Really, with Lincoln Riley's coaching and the receivers that those guys have around them and everything, I think any quarterback with a decent skill set is going to succeed in that offense. So,
no. Well, I tell you this, we're talking about the two colleges, Oklahoma State and OU.
Yeah.
UCO they made a big move, and to me, I think this move is to show that they're going to become a small Division I. I don't think you put $10 million in a stadium at a Division II school. I know the guy got a bunch of money, the Paycom guy. He just took over, Chesapeake and his Paycom. I know he did a lot for the UCO's wrestling room. I got a chance. I don't know if you guys got every chance being in. It's a state-of-the-art wrestling room for a college. It's better than Oklahoma State and OU. Oklahoma State kind of did some stuff to there, so I haven't been in there in a while, but I know it's better than OU when we visit OU. But I tell you, UCO is legit, man. It's really nice. So for this guy to put the money in the wrestling room, and he's doing it with the basketball, and he's doing it with, their baseball field. If you've seen it, it kind of looks like OU's baseball field. Now you're doing it with the stadium. The thing about UCO, they can't keep, which I don't understand why. You got all these Oklahoma kids that go to, all these surrounding schools around here. You can put enough team together to make that a darn good team, especially if it's Division II. So I would say the next 2 to 3 years, I think the UCO is going to be a small Division I. It'd be a small D1, nice. And it would be good. I think they'll be compete with Tulsa and them kind of schools like that. They're starting to get some kids from D1 to transfer from D1 to UCO. I think the biggest thing that kind of holds those guys back is a commute school. It's right there, But to me, it's no different than Norman being in Norman and Oklahoma State. It's right there. You got good food places. I tell you, the only thing I hate about UCO and Edmond, if you hit that sucker at 3 o'clock, it's going to take you 2 hours to get through one stoplight. So we'll have to fix those kind of things. But kudos to those guys over there, at UCO. They're doing big things. They're changing that program around. I got a kid that goes there, so excited for him and what they're doing, man, and the wrestling program. Good luck to UCO's wrestling. I know we've talked football, but they'll kick off the season next month. So Gabe should be, hopefully he can jump back in that starting lineup like he did as a true freshman.
Man.
And I kind of talked to RT about this the other night. If they got a senior that he beat, the kid's a senior, he's a junior last year, Gabe beat him. But I truly think in my mind that they might try to redshirt him.
Yeah.
Because if they do redshirt him, you still got him for 4 more years, and the kid's going to be a freshman again, and he'll be a junior in the classroom.
A real stud.
So
he a grown man.
He's a grown ass man. You don't say it. You can say it on this show because
we
keep it 100. But I talked to him the other night. He wants to be in that lineup because they got everybody coming back, and they trying to go get that ring. And that's what I like about my baby boy. Everybody that was over there with them Yellow Jackets ain't got a ring, but he got one. He earned it on himself. So shout out to him and the UCO wrestling team, Coach Stiley, and those guys, man. Good luck to you this season. No matter if my boys wrestling or not wrestling, I'm still going to support you guys.
There you go.
Keep it 100. What else going on, Big? Hey, before we get started, I got to tell you something. We kind of changed it up tonight. We have a special guest.
Oh, we do?
We got a special guest.
Okay.
And it ain't like all the other special guests.
Why not?
Because he's a young man.
Young man?
Young man.
How young?
He's 10.
Oh.
11. Oh. And folks, this is what we do here at Keep It 100.
Okay.
You start with the young ones, and you breed them up.
Okay.
And that's who you start talking about in the future. Yeah. Because if we talk about everybody that's almost out, we ain't got nobody to talk about. But we start talking about these young ones that's putting their name out there.
That's cool.
And his name is Eli Debusk. He plays on the Jones team, and I'm telling you guys, his IQ of football is amazing. I've been around a lot of guys. RT can tell you. I've been around a bunch of young men that's playing at the Division I level. I got a kid that's played for me, and he's coming to town this weekend. Rabbit.
Yeah,
and he played for me. He went to that CA.
Oh, okay.
But he should have. He was going to be a bomber. He was going to be a bomber. Right. At the time, I had my boys at CA. But we didn't mix having that bomber blood.
Right.
We didn't mix with that CA blood.
Okay.
But Rabbit stuck around because they handcuffed him to the chair and said, "You ain't going nowhere, Rabbit. We got you for the next 3 years." But he did a great job at Carl Albert. But like I said, we'll have a special guest tonight. This morning, I'm sorry. He gonna check out his classroom, his homeroom, and come talk to us.
He's that intelligent.
Yeah. He gave his teacher an apple to sneak off, and Eli's gonna come over here and he gonna cut it up with us for a few minutes. Right. Because I told myself, man, I'm always interviewing these older guys. Let's get some of these young guys on here because the way I look at it, Coach Martin knows he got something good because Eli's brother is coming up there next year, and he's a running back, and they say he's a stud. He's just an 8th grader, but he's built like a brick house. And that's good because Coach Martin, hey, you got some boys coming up, man. You do in the next few years. So Jones will be back on that map trying to win another state championship. But I said, after you guys get to listen to him talk, man, you're young country, young buck. But we're going to have fun with him, though. Anything else before we go? Because we'll be bringing him home in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll just go to break, tune in to one of our sponsors, and then we'll bring it right back. So, yeah.
After what?
After one of these sponsors.
Keep it what?
100 Oklahoma High School Sports.
Man, Dad, all this crazy weather has gotten our roof and gutters all messed up.
Good thing we know some guys over at Rain Down Roofing and Gutters. They can inspect and repair your roof and gutters and get in contact with your insurance company in 72 hours or less.
Call Jay Hunt at Rain Down Roofing and Gutters at 405-473-0674. No job is too big or too small for Rain Down Roofing and Gutters. Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Friday morning with my man RT and Big E. Like I said, folks, we have a special guest. We're doing it. What we do at Keep It 100, we're not like everybody else. We shake it up. We do different things. And we got a young man straight from Jones, Oklahoma, Mr. Eli Debusk. What's up, Eli?
What's up?
What's up, baby? How you doing this morning? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, man, Eli, we're having fun, man. We get to bring a young man like you on. And I was sitting there telling my two guys next to me, RT and Big E, how much talent and how your IQ of high school, little league, whatever you want to call it, your football IQ is, man. It's amazing, what you do, how you line kids up. Folks, if you didn't know, Eli plays on the team I coach, the Jones 6th grade Longhorns. We started this weekend. We'll start our playoff run, trying to get to the gold ball. We'll take on Tecumseh, a team that we played early this year. Eli started off as my tight end.
Okay.
And so I was looking at his talent, the way he runs the ball, the way he gets everybody lined up. So I said, man, let's put you at fullback.
Okay.
And so we put him at fullback, and they call him the bus because he running over people.
Running over.
He running over taking names.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what he does. So Eli, for the people that don't know who you are, tell them who you are.
My name's Eli Debusk. I play for 6th grade Jones football. I play fullback, and my team calls me the bus because I run over kids.
That's what I'm talking about, the bus.
Love it.
Love it. So Eli, I know you've been playing football. How long have you been playing football, though? When did you start?
I started in 4th grade.
Hey, Eli, I tell you, you started in 4th grade, man. You only been playing 2 years, but, man, it seems like you've been playing all your life the way you are so smart and lining kids up. And, Eli, I tell you, we run a complicated offense.
Yeah.
It ain't just strictly I formation. We run the ninja. We run the power back. We run the veer. We run in one back. We run a single back. I mean, last night we put some different stuff in because we got Omogi in 2 weeks. The only team that beat us, they beat us 27-6. At that time, Eli was playing tight end. I moved him to fullback.
You made the adjustment.
I made the adjustments. I watched game film just the other day, and we're going to take it to Old Mogi because I tell you, I can line him up, right behind the tight end. He has great hands. That's why we had him at tight end, but we utilize him a lot coming out of the backfield. And he also plays a good defense too, though. So Eli, I mean, who's your favorite team?
NFL.
NFL, college, talk to me.
I like in the college. I like OU. NFL, I like the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Well, Eli, you better find another team because the Chiefs are struggling right now. I'm a Cowboys fan. You might as well jump on my bandwagon because my team is going to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is playing like he's still at Texas Tech. So you better, hey, Eli, find another team. You know what I'm saying? Find another team, big Eli. Because I'm telling you, they are struggling right now, baby boy. They ain't got it. So Eli, everybody knows about your brother and how good he is. So tell the listeners who your brother is and what he does for the Jones 8th grade team.
My brother is Luke Debusk. He plays for the 8th grade, about to go into 9th. He starts on offense and defense for 8th grade football. And he's been running over kids. He hits a bunch of kids, and it's just very funny how he hits them.
Man, I love this kid.
I tell you, this guy's a stud. I told his mom was at practice. I think she was doing something one day. And I said, "Where's his mom at?" Yeah. And they was like, "Wow!" I said, "I just want to give her a hug because this kid is amazing, man. I mean, a young man. I mean, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, it's just good." So, Eli, what's some of your hobbies? I mean, do you fish? Do you hunt? I mean, what do you like doing when you're not running over people?
I like to fish, and recently I figured out I really like to kayak.
Okay. Well, Eli, I'm gonna tell you this story about me and the kayak. Okay, and that's that little boat, right? With 2 people sitting in. Am I right or wrong?
That's a canoe.
Yeah, that's a canoe.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then, Eli, because I'm going to tell you, me and my wife almost got divorced on the canoe because it's that little 2-seater, right? And I can't swim, and we're up in Key West. Yeah. I keep falling over, and I'm thinking she's trying to kill me at this time to get my life insurance. Okay. I try to stay away from water, Eli, because I can't swim. I love the water, but I can't swim. So I keep telling myself I got a granddaughter.
Right.
I'm going to take swimming lessons one of these days. So one day I'm just going to jump in the deep end, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, my God, go save Tony." But I'm going to be like, come and look like Michael Phillips. Yeah. So, Eli, so you like the kayak. So, what do you think our chances are going into the playoffs? We got beat by Old So, what are you thinking? You think we got a good chance next time we face them?
We got this. We can win it for sure.
Okay.
So what do you think we have to do? Because I know we just knocked off Shawnee, a team we never beat. You had a good game that game on offense and defense side of the ball. So what do you think, it's going to take for us to beat Omogi, though?
It's going to be hard to beat them, but we can beat them for sure because we got one of our best players back, Jace Baker.
Yes, sir. Yeah, linebacker. And they gave us a chance to, when he went to linebacker, gave you a chance to go down to D-line when you punish people at those. So, yeah, you're right about that. I'm sorry, I did interrupt you. Keep going. What else you going to say, Eli? Do you have anything else you're going to say with it?
I say that we can beat Okmulgee for sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what is your most memorable moment, in playing sports like football? What other sports do you play before I get to that? Do you play any other sports besides football?
I play basketball and baseball.
So what's your favorite sport?
For all 3 sports I play, I like football better than all.
Okay, what would be your second?
My second is basketball.
So are you a pretty good basketball player?
Yes.
Okay. I'm about to come check you out. I love basketball. My daughter plays basketball. We do a lot of traveling with basketball. So, what kind of made you get into football? Watching your brother play, or you just said, "Hey, man, you know what? I'm going to do this just for the fun of it." And now that you've been playing, you turn out to become a really, really good player.
I started football because I started watching my brother play, and it's really making me feel like I can do it too.
Yeah, and that's good. I tell you, man, for a guy that's only played 2 years, folks, I'm listening to me. If you're watching this show or listening to this show, for a young man that's only played 2 years of Little League football, started in 4th grade, he's in 6th grade, he just lines everybody up, man. And I know we got 2 good quarterbacks, and I'm telling you, the kid can play quarterback. The kid can play anywhere you put him at, and that's the thing about it. And I tell you, I'm going to tell you a funny story about him. We're playing a team, and they kind of cheap shot him, and he has that P.O. look, man. He's ready to go smack this kid, get back at him. But, he held his composure. His brother's talking to him. And his brother Luke, if you get to meet Luke, he's kind of the same way. He knows the game for an 8th grader. He kind of helps me a little bit on the off. He helps with the offensive line, and he helps me calling plays. But when you see both of these young men, you could tell they study the game. They know the game. So Eli, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is Thai food.
Thai food?
Okay.
Thai food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who makes Thai food? Where you get Thai food from?
I like fire Thai food. I like to eat spicy noodles.
Woo. So where you getting that
at? Honestly, anywhere.
Walmart, you get them spicy ramen noodles.
Okay. So Eli, tell me what's kind of your pregame. You know, what do you listen to before the game? I mean, right now, if we had a game today, what would be in your CD player or I guess your iPhone? You know, I said CD player. That's what we had back in the day.
Wow.
I'll tell you my age, Eli. but
I really like to listen to Pop Smoke before we leave. I like to get myself fired up, ready for the game.
He said Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke.
Fired up. Man, I love this guy. Hey, man.
I told you, Eli
got to come to the show.
Hey, Eli, we have to bring you on the show in person. I don't know who Pop Smoke. Yeah, Eli, tell me a little bit about Pop Smoke because I listen to old school jams like.
It wasn't out when they was making those CDs.
I was listening to some Guy the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let's chill. You know, some Mary Jane, some SW. You don't know about that, Eli. But I'm just saying, I mean, I listen to a lot of old school R&B. So what's Pop Smoke? Tell me one of his songs.
Oh.
I like to listen to Pop Smoke. One of his songs, that's my favorite, is Got It On Me.
Got It On Me. Okay.
Right.
Huh?
What we got?
So know about Pop Smoke, RT?
Yeah, I got
So Eli, so who's your role model? If you had to have a role model in this world, who would it be?
It would be my brother because I like to watch him and see how he's so good at stuff, the way he works hard at it and does it right. And it just fires me up the way I watch him.
Yeah, he is. He is a good brother. He's always telling you what you do right, what you do wrong. I tell you, I mean, that's good having a big brother like that. I mean, I'm a big brother of my two brothers, and I got a chance to coach them and be with them and watch them grow up. And, you know, I feel like they were both better than me. Not really, but I'd like to tell them that. But, you know, I mean, it's good that you do have that role model as a big brother, as somebody that cares about you. And, I mean, it's like you said, with your IQ of Little League football and knowing the game is just amazing. You know, Coach Martin, and then when he gets his hands on you, he's going to be thrilled. Because, like I said, he's going to get your brother next year. And I'm just going to tell you, he's going to be thrilled to death to get you. So, Eli, man, you know, before we let you go on the show, man, is there anything you want to tell the team before we play this game Saturday morning? You know, we got the Compton, a team that we beat, but, you know, we got to, we got to go take care of business before we can go see Omogie. So we can't count the chickens before they hatch. But what would you tell the team on Saturday morning, about taking care of the Compton?
We'll win this weekend and then take care of business for the rest of the weekend.
That's it. So you think we're gonna go get that gold ball, Eli? You think we can get it?
Sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, Eli. But Eli, I'm glad you came on keeping it what?
Keeping it 100.
We want you to say it one time, Eli. Say keeping it 100.
All right. Keeping it at 100.
That's it. We love you, Eli. Yeah, hey, Eli, I appreciate everything that you do for the team, man. Being a team leader. I mean, being one of the guys that's always spoken up and helping the other guys. I love it how you take charge now with the 1 clap, 2 clap, something we just put in this year. And I just tell you, folks, man, keep an eye on this young man. He's in 6th grade, but I'm telling you, you're going to be hearing about him on Twitter, OK Prep, all these guys. I'm telling you right now, we started at a young age, but keep it 100. He's a young man that we want to follow and keep behind. So, Eli, I appreciate you coming on, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening, morning, whatever we call it. All right. Bye, Eli. Bye-bye. All right. Well, folks, that's Eli Debusk. Heck of a ball player, man. I'm telling you, man. I get to see the kid when we go to practice, man, and just the way he carries himself, just the way he is just amazing. He's a coach on the field. He doesn't play quarterback. He plays fullback for me. He plays tight end. I got him in a lot of pass packages. We just put in a bubble for him. But he catches real good, and he runs real hard. I mean, for his size, he runs hard, and he's real quick, and he's just so smart. And that's what I like about the young man. He is just so smart at what he does when he's on a football field, and he's a leader. And that's why, when we picked the kid who we wanted to pick, me and Roman kind of talked about it, and it was him, I mean, it just hands down, man, I've coached a lot of great young men, and then just to see him, and they talk about his brother, and I haven't got a chance to see his brother play, but if he's anything like his brother, I'm telling you, Jones, this kid is good size kid already for a 6th grader. Coach Martin, you're a lucky man. I mean, getting to coach both of the Bus boys here in the next few years because I tell you that Eli, he's a stud. We didn't talk about his defense, but he'll come hit you, man. He ain't scared.
I love that part of it.
Yeah, he ain't scared. He plays both sides of the ball. But I tell you, the most amazing thing about the kid is his hands.
Yeah.
He has really soft hands, man. He catches everything you throw at him, man. He runs good routes, and he's a leader. So, well, folks, we'll be back after what?
After one of our sponsors.
Keeping it what?
Keeping it 100 Oklahoma High School Sports.
Tired of going out to your trash can, having to smell so bad? Well, no further. Call Spiffy Cans. He cleans, disinfects, sanitizes. 405-423-8824 or go to spiffycansok.com. Spiffy Cans, he's your man.
Spiffy Can, he's your man.
Welcome back to Keeping It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. Let's recap some of the games that we had go on last week. Let's see. We got, let's start off with 6A1 here.
Uh-oh. That was an upset.
Yeah, there was a big upset.
Upset
alert. We got Mustang beating Owasso at Owasso.
Wow.
47-41.
Wow.
That's the first time a team in 19 years on this side of the state, not 5A's doing their business, 4A, but 6A.
Man.
6A has beat a team from the Tulsa side.
Wow.
19 years, folks. 19 years ago, I didn't have all this gray. I had a little bit more hair on my head. I was a little bit more skinnier.
I wasn't even born 19 years ago.
There you go.
I was like a little baby.
There you go. That just tells you how strong Tulsa has been. But, hey, Mustang, Blankenship, and I think he as either his brother or his cousin, I mean, they're related, went down there and took care of the other Blankenship. But Mustang, hey, I tell you, hey, they started off kind of slow, but now they hot. And right now they're sitting with the number 2 seed. Uh-huh. If the playoffs was to start today, they're sitting at the number 2 seed. So Mustang, kudos to you and Coach Blankenship and what you're doing down there, man, because I tell you right now, Owasso, I know they're going to go face Moore tonight, and I feel sorry for you, Moore. I mean, I know you need 1 or 2 games to get in, but you're not going to get this from Coach Hill. Sorry, but I'm just telling you, you woke up a angry giant, and guess what? You're going to feel the effects of them getting beat by Mustang because that is a big-time upset.
Yeah, absolutely. If Mustang wins one of their last 2 games, they're guaranteed that number 2 seed because they will have the tiebreaker over Owasso.
Yep. That's big time right there.
Big time.
Being a 2 seed, that means you're gonna get the home. And big 6A. 6A is different than excuse me, guys, than small 6A because they play their first 2 games. They play 4 games. The small 6A only plays 3 games to get to the championship. The big 6A, they got to play. They play they play the first round, second round, third round, and the fourth round.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's how it is. I think it's more set up kind of like.
You talking about?
That's how it is.
What are you talking about? Like 5A or what?
Well, 5A, they play 4 rounds.
6A.
But I'm talking about 6A big. I think they play. Don't they play 4 rounds?
No, I think they play the same amount.
Yeah,
they play.
They play the same amount of 6A.
Hey, see, they're number 2 coming out of their district. What was it? Broken Arrow's number 1, right? In that
Union.
district.
Union?
Yeah.
Broken Arrow is the 2nd seed in the other district.
Okay.
So
they would play, but they would play the 3rd seed in that who's ever in that district right there. Who's sitting at 3rd in that district.
Yeah.
So I mean that just kind of tells you right there, where they're sitting at. But I mean, congratulations to those guys, Mustang knocking off. Owasso, like I said, it's been 19 years since that's happened, and they take care of business. They're going to be the number 2 seed. So congratulations to Coach Blankenship. Yep. What else we got, Big E?
Another game that we got. This was a game that me and you talked about last week. Broken Arrow and Edmond Santa Fe.
Man, I picked Santa Fe.
And you picked Santa Fe, and I'm kind of, because I bit Broken Arrow. You said he was going to put a chicken sandwich on this game. I'm kind of upset I don't got a chicken sandwich in front of me right now, but it's okay. I'll let it slide.
The weather was kind of bad.
Yeah. And you've been having to buy a lot of chicken sandwiches, so I'll let it. I'll let it slide this week. It's okay.
Thank you, Biggie. I appreciate you because times is tough. Christmas is around the corner, so I'm just trying to save all of those things up. But I tell you, I did talk to Lenny Hatchett the other day, and we're probably gonna do one of our shows at one of his places. His place just opened up in Twiggs Old Sporting Good. I think it's an old barbecue joint. And hey, there ain't nothing wrong with doing the show there and giving him free advertising.
Absolutely,
and us getting free food.
Yeah. I'm all for it. I mean, really.
I ain't going to be. You might see some barbecue, some barbecue sauce on my face.
Yeah.
We have to all wear a beard. You have to get that beard.
I get that beard. I got everybody one coming. Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner chicken dinner.
But getting off topic for a second.
Sorry about that. Let's get back on it.
But no, I was going to take it off the track for just a second. But, like, if you got a small business that you want to promote, hit us up. We'll run your ad on the show, like, for sure. Like, I'm all for promoting small businesses, everything, like, trying to recover from this pandemic and everything. I mean, we're there to help y'all out for sure.
And I know we haven't talked about this, but it is something I know we were supposed to do in the spring. Never got back from Goose about the young man from Capitol Hill, a grant, supposed to get a scholarship. We still will be doing our $1,000 scholarship, for a young man for the fall when the football season's over, and they helped him pay for his books, lunch, or meals, or whatever he needs to pay for. But we still will be doing that, and we'll get a couple of guys that are sponsoring us. I've already got the okay from them. We just got to find a good young man. And I tell you, I do like it that we are starting getting people to text back. Love you, Harry. You're probably one of the best.
Man, we got a huge amount of support in Harry.
I tell you, I can do hair every day, and we'll get the support back. And even Dell City, man, with the Coach Jones show, we had a bunch of views. It's starting to come up. And when you win, everybody want to get on, man. Everybody's buying that ticket for that train. But, I did tell Coach Jones one thing we are going to do when Dell City goes to the playoffs, man. It's and Colorado does is real good, and Choctaw and some of these other schools, man, they pack the house out, man. If it's a blackout, white out, red out, whatever they call it. But I told Jones, man, for you to be doing as good as you are, and he's had some decent crowds, but I thought the other night for the district championship against Deer Creek, I know we'll get in that in a minute, but just to have all the parents we need to have out with all those good athletes. So I just told him we're gonna have a deal we call Bring a Friend Night. Everybody grab one friend, 2 friends, 3 friends, and bring them to the game because those kids need that same support, man. Just like everybody else. Because that's one thing I will say about the Jackets. They do pack that house out. Carl Albert packed that house out. Midwest City's kind of down, but we'll talk about them in a minute too. Because I just tell you right now, man, that's my team, and not making it to the playoffs kind of makes me, if I had an emoji with a tear in my eye, that's what it'd be.
All right. Moving on to 6A2.
You like that?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
It's okay. Oh man. Moving on. Dell City and Deer Creek at Deer Creek. Man, that was a close game. Go ahead, Tony.
Hey, go ahead.
You were there. No, you were there. Let's hear.
I tell you, man. Watching that game, I'm gonna tell you right now. Whoever has Deer Creek first round, don't take them lightly.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, that team is a scary team. They can knock you off. I tell you what Dell City did. They stayed in the ballgame. They got down 21-0.
Oh, wow.
And then, second half, they put Jason Smith in, the kid I talked about earlier. The guy's a grown man.
Yeah.
Put him in. And Ethan ran good. He was 16 for 82 yards. That's a good night for a high school running back.
Yeah.
But I tell you, to put the ball in the big grown man's hand, he looked like Jerome Bettis out there running the ball. He had 22 carries for 143 yards, 3 TDs. He carried Dell City that night. He was the Eagle. And I just tell you right now, man, but I would say, I'm going to give it to Coach Jones and his staff. They nobody panicked. Not from his defensive coordinator, not to his offensive coordinator, or anybody that was on the sideline. They all had that puzzle, hey, let's go. We're still in it. And I told the trainer, the young lady, I said, hey, if they score before halftime, and they make it 21-7, they're going to win this ball game. She said, you think? I said, yeah, because, you start seeing the momentum change. And football's all about momentum.
It is, absolutely.
If anybody played that college football back in the day when that line used to shake and, and they're trying to get you rattled up, that's what it's all about. And you can see, because Dell City kept chopping away. And Deer Creek, you can see Deer Creek, they panicked. They got back on their heels, and Dell City just put it away. But I'm telling you right now, if you're playing Deer Creek in the first round, be prepared. They got secondary salty. Yeah. They did have a play. Canigel came up and kind of 50-yard bomb, but that was a one-on-one play, man. Canigel was the better athlete that time, and I think if you did that 10 times, it's going to go 5-5. Both of those kids Deer Creek's DB was a good kid. Very intelligent defensive back. I think their back end was really, really, really good. They played the big OU kid, Sexton. They played him a little bit of nose guard, kind of moved around. So it's going to be really good because I think Choctaw's going to have them first round. And I tell you, first round. Wow. And I tell you this, though. It's going to be good to see Sexton go up against Deshaun Brown, you know. And
that's going to be a great matchup.
Find out who's a better man. You're going to have two of the best offensive linemen and the best defensive linemen in state going against each other. And probably could be teammates. I'm hearing, you's kind of coming hard on this kid, Deshaun Brown, you know.
Man.
That's good stuff, though.
Yeah.
That's really good, man. I mean, I tell you, Oregon jumped on them last week, and I read an article just the other day. Folks, I do my reading, even though I'm not a journalist, I still do my reading. And that's what happens when you read up on stuff. You learn about stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. But I just tell you, though, man, they talked about this kid. You start kind of hitting him up doing the Nebraska game, and then it's been, hey, boom, boom, boom. This kid's been showing out. I think last week they said he had about 20 tackles. Man, when you're doing stuff like that, man, everybody and their mama going to want you. So,
right.
Good job to that kid, hey, great job, But I tell you, it's going to be fun to watch them two go. But I tell you, though, Dell City, they're still a good team, man. I mean, they're hey, Jones is doing something right because his rabbit foot is working because he's had 3 overtime wins. Yep. And I tell you, this is the crazy thing, guys. They had 3 overtime wins, and both times the team has had the ball on the 1-yard line, and they've kept them out.
Wow.
And that tells you how that defense is. Yeah. And then the last play of the game, Deer Creek still had a chance to tie the game up or at least get the touchdown. And they had number 12. He's running in the flats, and there's two receivers there, and he's covering both. He's in between. There's like one here, and then he's right there behind, and then the other one. He tries to throw the ball, and he bats it down. So they had 2 receivers there with 1 defender, and he made the play. But that just tells you how the game is going. Sometimes the ball bounces your way, and guess what? Right now, it's bouncing in Dell City's way. So they are the hottest team probably beside me. Bigsby's Bigsby. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a good matchup. If you can see, I think if Deer Creek can get past Choctaw, you might see a Deer Creek Dell City rematch, or you might see the Choctaw Dell City game. And I tell you, that'll be a good game too. It'll be a damn good game.
Defense versus offense.
2 guys that came from Carl Albert, facing each other.
Yeah.
Jones is a defensive mind, and Corbin's an offensive mind. So you'll see, those backs that he got. And then see what Steele can do against Bigsby's a good defense, but to go against that front line he got, with Stone and Foreman, those guys, man, Hampton, those guys, man, I'm telling you right now, you do not want to get hit by that Jason Smith. You don't. I'm just telling you, I'm a grown man. I wouldn't want him to hit me. He just a bowl of muscle.
So that made Dell City number 1, right?
Dell City number 1, man. I think that comes from that Keep It 100 show.
Yeah. Talking about David Stone, I saw on Twitter he just got invited to the Army All-American Bowl Combine. So, I mean, that's always a good deal. He gets to go out there and represent not only Oklahoma but Dell City. And, he can wear the red and black DC with pride while he's over there, and I think that's a great deal.
But, you talk about Stone, man, he don't get a lot of recognition every game, and he's a lot of it because he's getting double teamed. The kid's just a sophomore, he ain't even grown. He still has a baby face. So I tell you, I thought the Foreman kid played a good game the other night. I thought he had a really good game. I know he had about 4 or 5 tackles, but he had some good pass rush. I mean, just they are a salty defense, man, and they're gonna get one of their other corners back. Day, he'll help them a lot in the receiving game, and Virgil, I thought he played a good game. His passing wasn't great. He was 4 for 16 for 98 yards, but the kid ran, I want to say 16 times for 107 yards. I mean, just when you got that 3-headed monster with Lawrence, Smith, and then Virgil, then when you got Kanijah and you got Sweet, those guys can line out and do the things they're doing, and you still ain't throwing the ball to Stone yet. So, and you're getting your other kid Day back. So, they're gonna do some good things. I mean, they got to take care of business, tonight, against U.S. Grant.
Yeah.
I think that should be a win. I know RT gave me the stink eye, but hey, I told him though, this is true though, because you guys are in the same boat with Carl Albert.
Yeah.
These next 2 wins, but these teams are, if they beat you, it makes their season. That kid can walk around and say, "I beat Carl Albert. I beat Dell City. I kept them from going undefeated in district. Dell City has 1 loss. I mean, that was to Booker T the early year. But I think if you play them right now, Dell City walks away with that game. They ran for 338 yards that night against Booker T and still lost. So that just tells you right there. And they're a better team now than they were then. So
absolutely,
I got one request.
Yes, sir.
For the Robert Jones show.
Yes, sir.
You need to change the theme song to this right here.
Talk to me.
Yeah. What you know about that one, E? Huh? Yeah, y'all need to come out with that. You know what I mean? Because think about it. Last year, during the pandemic, Dale City really didn't have the best record.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say the last time that they had like 9 wins, it was a couple of years ago. I think head coach was done at the time. And they lost to Bixby in the second round, but this may be the first time in a long time that they actually have the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. Maybe even since 76 when they won it all. But
Yes, sir.
Man, again, hats off to Robert Jones, his entire coaching staff. As you stated, sometimes you don't have a lot of support. And for them to be able to take a school that normally doesn't come out as the number 1 seed, don't have all of the backing that they could have or other schools are used to having, that says a lot about them, man. So, again, I'm always pulling for the west side of the state. Yeah. I would like to see those two, them and Choctaw, go at it, and one of them attempt to knock Bixby off.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For sure.
Let's keep it real, 100. What else we got, Big E?
Choctaw versus Sand Springs. You kind of thought that this would be a trap game for Choctaw. And
I mean, I know people go, well, you pick against Choctaw, but I'm a football guy. I mean, Choctaw probably is a better team, but when you play at home with your Sand Springs, you got a chance to get the number 2 seed. You figure you step your game up. And the game went back and forth. I know it was a 13-point lead, but at one time the game was a 6-point lead. I think Latrell got loose at the very end of the game, made it go up by 13. But, Bixby's driving, not Bixby, but Sand Springs driving, got a chance to go down and tie the game up, even take the lead. It's 28-34. I think they get a couple fouls, penalties and, sack and all that. So they kind of, they had to punt the ball, whatever they did, turn the ball over downs. I don't get to watch the games no more because they take it off the channel now, which I enjoy that. So I don't know why you guys are taking it off. I wish you bring it back because I like to come home, and when I'm watching other high school games, I come home and analyze you guys and talk about the game, and don't want to have any mixed up stats because I don't want nobody to get mad because I didn't call the name right or something. But I would like to say, Sand Springs, Choctaw was a better team that night. Still had a couple. Good plays. I saw him throw a long touchdown to Hancock's boy,
Brooks. Yeah, Brooks had a really good game this week.
He stepped his game up. I don't know if Jackson Smith still out. I don't know. Like I said, can't watch the games. They took him down. But I will say that, hey, Choctaw they're going to face Deer Creek first round. That ain't going to be no easy.
No, it's not going to be easy, though.
I know we lost to Deer Creek when you guys were junior year. That team was 2 and whatever, and you guys lost to them. I'm telling you right now, that guy's a great coach over there. I don't know much about Deer Creek, but watching that game last Friday night, man, I'm just telling you, they're hey, Robert can sit there and say what he want to say. He got out with a lucky one. And sometimes that's the way it bounces, but Deer Creek got away from their game, and when I know that coach is probably kicking himself when he watched film Saturday morning because he got away from his game. But I'll tell you, whoever. I just think Choctaw it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be at the Yellow Jackets house. But Sand Springs overall, they're gonna finish in the 4th seed. They're gonna be probably one and done. They'll take on them Eagles. They're good. Bobby Klink has done a good job with those boys, but they just don't have the athletes to keep up. And you saw that in the Choctaw game, just couldn't keep up. Their offense is pretty nice, but I think you're gonna fall into the trap of playing Dale City, where they're pretty strong at in the secondary with Canizio and Lawrence and those guys, man. Like I said, even Ethan had 82 yards, but he had also had 10 tackles on defense. So that's your starting running back going and playing safety. So, but here the next couple of weeks, Choctaw. They got senior night, then they got gravy night with the next 2 games. They're playing PC West. If I'm PC West, I'll probably just cancel that game because why play it? Just give Choctaw the 15 points and move on. And then the next game is Bartlesville, and same thing. Drive up to Bartlesville for what? Those guys just these next 2 games they're not getting you ready. To me, they're not getting you ready for the playoffs. Maybe you can work on stuff, but when you play a lesser opponent, man, you don't get up for those games. Everybody knows that. Play football.
It gives those younger guys an opportunity to get some burn so that they're ready if someone goes down.
I hear you, but I'm just saying, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs, you want to be, that rocky. boxing. You want to go. You want to have that toe to toe. Okay, he hit me. I'm gonna come back and hit you. You got somebody that's not hitting you, man. You might walk in the playoffs sleepwalking though. So that's my thought of it. I'm not no Division I coach. I'm not no high school coach. I just stock shelves. Next.
All right. Moving on to 5A. Got Noble versus Southeast. Noble, they've been winning pretty consistently the past couple years. And, Southeast isn't really a team to really talk about much, but just the way that Noble has been winning games and getting into the playoffs. High school, right? Yeah.
Because last week my Jones knocked off there. 36-0. What'd you say? Did you say something? 36-0.
All right, and then
Eli Debusk, he did some big things.
Yeah, did he?
He did some big things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Shout out to Eli.
Boom, boom, boom.
Huh. Like that? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then another game that we got Pryor versus Sapulpa. Pryor getting the win, 36-21.
Pryor got a tough game this week, don't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got somebody tough this week. Man.
I'll tell you a game I went and checked out. Was Law Knight and Guthrie.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think about Law Knight and Guthrie? Is Guthrie the real
Law
deal?
Knight isn't the same team before in the past or recently where it was almost basically like a homecoming game. Those guys have really turned it on. They're kind of a sleeper. I do think it's going to be out of them in Piedmont to determine the 4th seed coming out of that district. But Law Knight definitely improved. The defensive coordinator, Gibson, he used to be the defensive coordinator at Southwestern Oklahoma State and Northeastern Oklahoma State.
Okay.
So he brings a lot of experience, and he brings the heat. They do a lot of blitzing. They scored first on Guthrie. It was 7-7 at halftime.
Wow.
That's one of those teams that you don't want to sleep on. As you stated before, it's hard to get up for some of these games, and they're up because they want to give you that only loss in district. They got to get in. So, Carl Albert has to face them the last game of regular season.
Is that at home or where?
That's at home.
Okay. Senior night?
Yep, senior night.
Big night. So a lot of guys don't want to lose on senior night.
Nah.
Senior night. Who else you got, Big E?
Moving on to 4A. Game that I was at this past weekend was Tecumseh at Hera. But, we had Coach Bleak and the running back Nick Moore on, and I'll tell you what, Nick Moore popped off again this past Friday. I can't remember how many carries he had, but he had 327 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
No, he didn't.
Wow.
Promise you. 327 yards rushing.
Wee.
It's like every time he was handed the ball, I think he averaged probably at least 8-9 yards a run, maybe 10. It was ridiculous what he was doing every time he got the rock. But
they showed a little video of him, a video of his game, and I tell you, man, sitting here next to the kid last week, real humble young man. He ain't got no offers, and that's the thing. Like I tell you, man, sometimes people miss out on kids like that because I tell you that kid could probably go play for somebody. I'm not saying a big D1 or a small D1. He might go play some Division II NAIA ball. Get some school paid for, educated, but I just tell you, one of the biggest thing is that the kid run hard, man. Just watching his film, and kudos to Coach Bleak, man. They haven't not made the playoffs. I know, like last year, everybody got in, but this year they earned to get in. The last time they made playoffs was 2015. That's what 7 years ago, and he's turned his program around. A program that wasn't winning no ball games to winning ball games now, and then he takes on Blanchard tonight. Number 10 Blanchard, then next week he'll have number 4 Cushing, and so if he can get those 2 wins, he can lock up the number 2 seed. So he's looking real good. Where he's sitting at. You got to go take care of business tonight. He's beat some good teams this year that they haven't beat before in the Ada and the John Marshall, knocking out Tecumseh. I think Tecumseh, I don't know what happened to them at the beginning of the year. They were the team to talk about in 4A, but I feel like they don't have it yet. And I think they put them at 1-8. With 2 games left to go, or 1-7, whatever it is. But Harris sitting really pretty, man. And I just think he got that program in the right direction. People's not going to move out and try to go somewhere else. He might have more people moving in and building homes. You got the Turnpike, so I just think he's in a good point. He's in a good spot, man. I know he got some of the other surrounding schools around him, but I don't feel that he feels that anyone's going to come take his players because he has them locked in. And like Archie said earlier in the show, he's young. He's a young guy. He can go run around and still play the Xbox with those kids and have fun and laugh and be on their same level. I think he's a great coach, man. And I know I talk about Coach Jones being Coach of the Year for 6A small, but I think Coach Blink should be right there in that same mix for 4A because he's only got 2 losses. He lost to Seminole at the beginning of the year, and he lost to Tuttle. And Tuttle's one of the better teams in 4A. So good luck to you, Coach. Keep banging it. I'm going to come pick up my helmet, have you right here on front stage. We're giving Bethel some love tonight because we'll talk about them here in a minute because Coach Glenn is doing the same thing, kind of like Coach Blink doing with the Bethel Wildcats, man, just taking care of business, man. And that's why I like to see these young coaches that came up and doing the right thing, man, coaching these kids up. They're teaching them football. Because sometimes you can go out and get kids and not be a damn good coach, but you got good talent around you. And so it doesn't get those kids ready for the next level. I think these guys we're talking about, Coach Jones, Coach Ginn, and Coach Blink, I think they're so involved with their kids. They love their kids. It's true love. It ain't just, hey, I'm in front of the cameras. I love these guys. It's real love. I think they would take them home, pick them up, do what they need to do. If they need the gas money, lunch money, I think those guys would do that. And I think some coaches like the fame in front of the camera and like, yes, I'm doing this. But behind closed doors, you ain't doing shit. Let's keep it at 100. What else we got?
Another game to highlight in 4A is Blanchard versus at Cushing.
That's going to be a good game, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, Big E, that's going to be a good game because you're battling. Because like I said, you said, that was last week or this week?
That was this past week.
Who won that?
Cushing. Cushing got the win 27-13. Yeah.
That's what I said. I mean, I think next week, Hera goes against Cushing. I think they got to knock off Blanchard tonight, and then they going to knock off Cushing to get that 2 seed. Cushing's good. And that's what we play at Saturday. We play at Cushing. But guess what? We're going that's what I tell the boys every week.
What you tell them, Tony?
I tell them this. This is our field. We're going to let you borrow today. We'll give it back to you after the game.
Huh.
Okay. Right. And that's what we're going to do at Cushing this Saturday. It's their field, but we're going to borrow. Then we're going to get back in our cars because we ain't got buses yet. We're going to get back in our cars and we're going to drive. Probably go to Chicken Shack, eat.
You got to get the bus a bus.
Get the bus. Well, I'm pretty sure his mom and daddy make good enough money. They get him a bus. But no, I'm right there with you, Big E. So so Cushing got the win. What was that final on that?
27-13.
Well, that's a good ball game, and that's the games you want. I tell you, like last week, been at that game, man, and it's so and I told you guys weeks before, it's so fun being at the games now. I ain't got a kid, so I can cheer for anybody.
Yeah, right.
If that kid makes a great play, I'm like, yay, he could be on the other team. I mean, that Del City Deer Creek game, man, I'm watching that game, and I'm watching another game on my phone, and I'm going like this and trying to keep with all that. Then I'm keeping up all the scores, and doing this show now has become more fun because I can go out and spread my wings to different games, man. Yep. And now I got E doing it, and RT's at one spot, so we're bringing it, man. We're bringing it, like I said, I can honestly say I think this show has went to another notch, and people know that we are coming to another notch, so they're like, hey, guess what? And you know how it is. When people's on your doorsteps, you got to take your game to another notch. But, hey, I'm not going to back down. I'm going to keep growing and growing and growing. That's one thing we're going to do. We're going to keep growing this show and spreading the wings, though. So that's just real talk. We're not going away. What else we got, Big E?
We got 3A up here now. Let's see. Game in 3A. You got Heritage Hall beating Anadarko 45-22. Heritage Hall has been one of the top teams in 3A for the past several years, and they're not slowing down at all. And then you got see what else we got here. Holland Hall, they're a team that just kind of came up on the rise last year, and they got the win against Jay 42-8. And then you got Verdigris at Manford. Manford's at 0-5, or I don't think they've got one win this season, but Verdigris is another one of those teams in 3A that's doing work this year. So yeah, and
I think the biggest game is tonight. You got Stinger and Life Christian. Yeah. I mean, there's the two teams that sitting there battling with Heritage Hall. Is find out who's going to be playing Heritage Hall and for the state championship. But Heritage Hall, year in and year out, they're talking about that receiver they got over there. Man, it's like another Wes Welker. I seen the kid plays. He's a small kid. That's what cracks me up. You see some of these kids play, and that kid's okay. I'm pretty sure there's 25 other kids in the state of Oklahoma just as good as that kid. But you got somebody over there pumping his brake, pushing him right, and getting his name out there. He's a good little receiver, real quick, do good things. But I'm pretty sure there's some kids on Choctaw, Del City, Carl Albert that's just as good as that kid. But they got somebody just pushing it's promoting. That's what that Heisman is all about, promoting. When you got that kind of money, you can get promoted. So, I mean, good luck to that young man. Hope he does sign at Texas Tech and be the next Wes Walkers. But I just think there's a few other guys here to state of Oklahoma just as good as him or better than him. But like I said, Heritage Hall should win another state championship. I think Lincoln Christian and Stinger, they're going to battle tonight.
Well, don't count out Holland Hall now.
But I'm gonna roll with Heritage Hall and Lincoln Christian, two Christian schools going at each other.
All right. Let's talk about 2A a little bit. The Bethel, they got the win at Lexington, 44-7. Coach Ginn doing his thing out there, getting them wins, and let's see where they're sitting at right now.
They're sitting at 7-1.
Yeah.
I got a couple of little notes I got on them guys, man. Okay. They're starting a true freshman, 14, 15-year-old kid, Bryce Tapley. His dad played at Dell City, was a good football player, wrestler over at Dell City. That Tapley name goes real long. He's good friends with Paul Durham and those guys, man, Z Williams. So, I think he's doing a good job. And the kid that we talked to last year, Corey Messenger, has over 1,000 yards rushing, 18 TDs. And then the receiver, they got a receiver, John Gordon. He has over 1,000 yards receiving. And then they got a junior center, CJ Competent. He's getting some looks from some D1 schools. He's just a junior. He went, North Texas is talking to him in Kansas. I think he visited them last week. So it just tells you what Coach Ginn's doing over there with those boys, man. He's doing big things. And he has 2 big ball games. I think he got, who does he have this week? I'm sorry. He got a Community Christian, one of the old offensive coordinators that used to be at Choctaw that he coached with is Prestige. Is coaching them, his offensive coordinator, I think, over there with Community Christian. That's a big goal. That's who I kind of want to have on the show, but we end up getting Eli Debusk. That's probably even better now. But then he got Purcell next week. That and this team, if he finished out, with 7 wins, it'd be the best team record he's ever had. And right now, they can get those 2 wins. They can, they can come. They're going to the playoffs. They were in the playoffs, but now to fight for playoff seeding,
if they beat Community Christian this week, they'll take a hold of that 2nd seed.
Yeah, there you go. So, he's doing good, man. Congratulations, Coach Gans. While we got you on the table tonight, man. Doing big things, man. Just where you come from, where you been. You played at Choctaw when they wasn't no good. You coached over there a little bit with Jonah Lanusa. You guys got to the playoffs. Jonah got hurt that year. I think you guys could have went far and would have beat Booker T, but he gets hurt. But everything happens for a reason. You end up at Bethel now. You the man on campus, man. And so, keep doing what you got to do. I know you lost to Washington early in the year, but I'm a firm believer it's hard to beat a team twice. So, I hope you get a chance to get another shot at them. But I just tell you, starting a true freshman is big time, especially sitting at 6 to 7 wins right now. So that's big time.
Yep. Well, we'll go to break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about some of this week's matchups. We'll be right back after a word from one of our sponsors on
Keep It What?
Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports.
Man, Dad, our patio is filthy.
Good thing we got our guys at 2 Clean Power Washing to get us covered.
They can take care of your driveway, your patios, and fencing, etc. You can reach those guys at 405-808-7471. Your man, Deshaun Moore. 2 Clean Power Washing.
Welcome back to Keeping It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. And we're going to talk about some of this week's matchups, starting off with 6A1. A matchup that I like is Owasso at Moore. Owasso, they get upset last week by Mustang and Moore. That was a team that we are high on beginning in the season. They kind of started to fall apart in the middle, but I'd like to see, how these 2 teams play. Owasso coming off a big loss and Moore trying to fight back for their spot into the playoffs. This is a must-win game for Moore.
I feel bad, Big E. I really feel bad.
Yeah. Wow.
Because, we had Coach Hill on here, and after he got on here with us, man, I feel like we was a curse of his team. Losing a couple ball games, man. I'm sitting here talking about him winning state, this and that and that. Yeah. And we kind of talked about, was the Norman North really an upset, or have they not played anybody? And I'm a true believer. I don't think they played anybody, and hopefully he can get them back. He beat PC last week, but that's PC Original, man. They haven't been good, and since Joe Asker was there, that was back in the 90s. So, so I just don't think, hey, Coach Hill, great job this year, man. You got some studs, so hopefully you get some of those guys coming back and you can do some big things. But I just don't see them. If they make it to the playoffs, they're gonna be one and done. And I'm just being real. I'm not trying to hate.
To be honest with you, they got the next 2 weeks, or tonight and next week. It's tough. I don't think that they're gonna make it in there because they got to win at least one more game, one of their next 2 games.
And they're both pretty good talent. So also, I'm telling you right now, man, they are pissed off. I mean, I wouldn't want to face those guys, man, because that is a big upset. I'm just telling you right now, that is an upset getting beat by Mustang last week. So I know Blankenship's going to bring those boys or have them ready to play this tonight.
Yeah. And then another game, Norman North at Edmond North. So this is interesting.
Talk to me, because this is what I want to do.
Yeah. If Norman North beats Edmond North and Owasso beats Moore, Norman North takes over the 4th seed and Moore's out.
There you go, right there. So, guess what? Norman North, go over there and seeing.
Wait a minute, go back to that.
Talk to me.
Go back here. Yeah.
So Norman North and Moore are fighting for the 4th seed, right?
Yes.
So even if they both lose the next 2 games.
Oh yeah, Norman North still has it, that's right. Yeah, the tiebreaker. Okay. Yeah.
So so what is if Norman North got to lose, because if Moore can win tonight against Owasso, that'll put him in the driver's seat, right?
Yeah, if they can get the win, that would put them over Owasso, and that would break the tiebreaker, and they'd have the 3rd seed. But yeah, Norman North sitting at 2 and 3 right now, so I think this is a must-win game for them.
They should beat Norman.
North. I think they should too.
That's a layup.
Yeah.
Left-hand layup for them.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. That's probably about it for all the good games.
I'm telling you, this week of football, man. This is the week you should take your family camping. I mean, I know there's some pretty decent games in 5A, but 6A, man, it's watered down. Ain't nobody playing nobody. Nobody's playing nobody. Right. 6A small, ain't nobody playing tough.
Yeah. The only game we're talking about in 6A2 is you got Midwest City at Stillwater.
Let's talk about my Bombers for a second.
Let's talk about them, Tony.
I'm just, Coach Hall's been there for, 8 to 10 years, and I tell you, really, truly, he's a great guy, great character, great smile.
2 championships.
Star
Spencer
and Booker T. But what's he done lately for? And I'm not knocking nobody. I keep it 100. I don't care what school it is. I love Coach Hall, love his staff. But what have you done?
Sometimes it's like that where you have those down years. But with Midwest City as well as Dale City dropping down to 5A, he may have a better luck there or more wins, you know what I mean? And
if it starts in your middle school, if your middle school is not taking care of business, where are you going to build that foundation? It starts. You got to keep planting that seed, just like having a garden. You got to water it, plant it, and it grows.
I get what you're saying, but think about
you
this.
Don't have nothing in the middle school.
I don't know what they have there at Midwest City Middle School, but with them combining both Jarman and Maroney at one location, that does make it a little bit better on those coaches.
Those teams are not winning. That's the thing about it. They're not winning. They have enough kids to have a JV team. They have enough kids to have a freshman team. Yeah. You're not building. You're not helping yourself. I went and watched a couple of practice. They just don't have the athletes like they used to have. You go look at Del City. He has some athletes. You go look at Charlton. He has some. You go look at Carl Albert. Carl Albert might not be as big as those schools, but and Lucky, truthfully speaking, Midwest City beat Carl Albert, but they probably shouldn't have beat him if they had everybody playing. They had some guys out hurt, and and Richie still had Reed still had the handcuffs on him. But I think now, if you play that game right now, Carl Albert beats him by 2 or 3 touchdowns. So. That take from them. I like to see what's going to happen with them.
I can't wait till next year, though. Having all 3 Middale teams in 5A, not in the same district.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to cover all 3 of them. But I know we jumped off the big 6A, but I'm really wondering about what's going to happen to Zoe. You think they keep him? You think he goes? You bring all those kids in.
Westmore coach.
Yeah, Westmore. You think he goes? And I love Zoe to death, man. And this thing about this show, we keep it 100. So don't think, hey, we're dogging a man and we're trying to be. We want anybody to lose their job. It's like me. If I'm not performing at my job, they're going to be like, hey, T, we're paying you good money, but you got to go. Or T, same thing with you, Big E. If you're not performing, you got to go. And maybe he had a down year. But I think when you bring that many kids in and move in and all that, and you don't win, you're getting beat by Enid, you're getting beat by Norman, teams that you're better than. Yeah. You shouldn't lose to those. You shouldn't lose to a team that you should beat. I'm a firm believer that. I don't know if it's the staff. Maybe you start cutting some of that staff, but you got to bring the right guys around you to get that team going because you can't be third and more when you're Westmore Jaguars. You can't. Yeah. You just can't. And I mean, granted, sophomore got kids moving out, but they're not good either. So Coach Hill looks like he's the king of the hill out there. And so, and we talked about it last week. Because you played NFL ball or you played college ball doesn't make you a great coach. I love when guys say, I played D1. What? Because you play D1 don't make you better than somebody. I hate when people say that. I played NAI. Does that make you better? No, it doesn't make nobody better. People think because you played D1. I used to be that dad. My kid got to go D1. My kid got to go D1. No, it doesn't make it better because after football is what?
Nothing. Or real life.
Real life. So, hey, you sit on the corner. Hey, I'll play D1. Okay. No one cares. Yeah. No one cares. Hey, I'm coming. I'm walking for this job interview. Hey, sir, I played at Oklahoma State or I played at OU. I played at Alabama. No one cares. That's just what's wrong when people get caught. I was that guy. I'm keeping it real. My boy's got to go D1. My son is happy as hell at UCO. Thrilled to death. Turn down D1s. Turn them down. So quit getting caught up that you got to play D1 or you play D1. It doesn't make you better than nobody else. Yeah. Herm, what was the guy that used to coach USC, the offensive coordinator, the Asian dude? Chain or whatever. When Leiter was there, guy never played college football, but he was smart as hell. Yeah. He was smart as hell. That's all about. If you know the game X's and O's, man, it makes you a good coach. Nobody cares if you played D1.
Not only that, you got to be able to communicate well, know how to connect with not only the players, but their parents and your other coaches. You just can't, just like you said, just because you played at the higher level, like Michael Jordan. He's a terrible coach. He can never coach just because he's so competitive.
And his kid ain't nothing like him.
Nah. Yeah. So I get your point. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I got fired up, but I just get tired of sometimes people think, you played a D1 that you should be the greatest. No, it doesn't make it. Some kids that are good get left out. I tell you his son, all the time. He was to me one of the best players in the state the year he came out. And kids went over him, and he did take the hard journey to go Southwestern and make it to Oklahoma State. But you know what? He took that journey, and he did it, and he made it. But sometimes you shouldn't have to take that journey. You should be good enough to get that journey, but sometimes they overlook you. I hear, one of my biggest things I hear all the time, your kid ain't tall enough. I worry about Zoe. She's going to be tall enough. But Zoe's fast as hell. So if the kid can go, if he can ball, let him play. Yep. Let him play. Quit holding he ain't tall enough or he ain't fast enough, he ain't that. But, at the end of the day, that kid might be able to help your team somewhere down the line. He might help your GPA.
But that's one thing I got to, and I know this is kind of getting off track, but I got to give it up to OSU because they do give those kids an opportunity that may be a bit undersized, and they take care of those kids in Oklahoma. Think about it, Edmond Santa Fe, Calvin Bundage, Trace Ford, and now Colin Olive.
Yeah, and then they got two more Edmond Santa Fe guys coming in.
And they're good with Oklahoma City schools, too.
Yeah.
So keep on, baby.
That's the thing. I'm a Sooners fan, but I always give OSU props in that aspect. Just because
they're going to get the kids from Houston and stuff like that.
Yeah. But going to 5A now.
Man, a lot of games.
A lot of good games in 5A this week. I'd say the one that I would highlight the most is Bishop McGinnis at Guthrie.
Yep.
Guthrie.
The Rock.
Let's see. I think that's the game that would lock up that second seed in that district, correct?
Guthrie.
Correct.
All right. So,
you say what?
Guthrie.
You got Guthrie?
I got Guthrie. I just tell you, man, watching that Guthrie Colorado game, man, Guthrie's really impressed me, man. They're kind of like that Deer Creek team. If you sleep on them, they're going to hit you in the mouth, man. The quarterback can throw the ball. They got a pretty decent running game. The offensive line, to me, was pretty good. I think Carl Albert that night just came out with that Carl Albert magic and pulled that game off. That's a big win for Carl Albert. But Guthrie's pretty salty to me. I really do. How many losses they got? Just one loss? Just to Carl Albert. I think Bishop McGinnis still beat up, man. If you can shut down their Taffy running back. They're just one dimensional. They're not going. I mean, you played them. I mean, they're good. But even that Carl Albert game and Bishop McGinnis game should have never went in overtime. Yeah. I think that's a little bit of home cooking, refs and all that. So sometimes the refs make the games closer. I mean, to me, even the Guthrie game, Carl Albert game should have never got to that point. Every time Carl Albert had a move, boom, woo.
Yeah.
Every time, I mean, it was just like a flag happy show, you know. And I saw that last week in the Dell City game. And nobody ever wants to blame it on the refs because, you know, you got to go play the game. But sometimes the ref can keep, and I say it all the time, if you let the underdog stay in the ball game, he's going to come and bite you. So I'm going to say Guthrie, 28, Bishop McGinnis, 14.
Yep. You going with Guthrie too?
He going with Guthrie.
I think I'm going to have to, yeah.
What you got, RT? What you got, RT?
We Carl Albert already done beat him, so I don't care.
Yeah. But I want to talk about Carl Albert for a second because they lose those first, 2-3 games? I think it was 2 games. They lose their first 2 games, and everybody started counting them out at that point. And now here they are, undefeated in district play, and they got what? They got Western or that game that was a forfeit. So they got Woodward and Eisenhower left on their schedule. You know, and I think Carl Albert would go out and beat those 2 teams. So after starting, 0-2,
right?
They finished up district play undefeated. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I mean, you can go 0-3 in those first 3 games, but none of that matters as far as playoffs and your chances at the gold ball. It's all about the district.
Yep.
And so tremendous. Got to give props to Carl Albert. They faced a lot of scrutiny and stuff like that, a bunch of bad talk. I mean, I remember talking. I'm a leader at Catalyst over there. That's just walking distance away from the school, and we put on a 5th quarter type thing, like then come hang out after the home games. And I was talking to some of the kids, like, man, how you feeling about this? He's like, man, we're not no good. Like, we're not gonna. This ain't our year. And then here they are.
I got a question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay. You're talking about Carl Albert. Done some good things. I mean, found a way to win.
Right.
I want you both to be truthfully.
Okay.
Speak true.
Okay.
Speak 100.
That's all I'm going to ever give you.
Do you think Carl Albert can win the 6th one this year? Be real.
Yes.
I think you can never count Carl Albert out. You never can count Carl Albert out. There's just something about that. They call it scarlet and gray. They find ways to win.
Well, wait a minute. Let's back up a little bit. Go back to what you said at the beginning of the year. They started out 0-2, and I've been telling you guys from the beginning of the year. They had a year that was somewhat similar, a little bit worse. 2012 wasn't doing too good. A lot of people counted them out. Then they won every single game at the end of the year and won it all. When they won it all that year, they was led by more of a running quarterback, Stevie Thompson.
I'm going to tell you what happened. My daughter was a cheerleader.
Okay.
She cheered him to victory.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. That's okay. Okay. But in those first 3 games, when you hear those grumblings, man, those coaches have done it year after year. They use those non-district games as an opportunity to develop their younger players.
Yes, sir.
Since then, their younger players have stepped up. And it's just going to carry on into the playoffs. With that coaching staff and those younger players getting the experience needed, and everyone's pretty much coming back or back by now and staying healthy,
yes, sir.
They can only beat themselves.
Yeah.
And I think Johnny has got his groove back like Stella got hers. Johnny has got his back.
Yeah.
I just think, Tayshawn, I mean, I'm surprised that kid ain't got an offer yet. He's done some amazing things, blocking punts, returning punts, hitting people. I mean, the kid is good.
Helmets off.
I mean, the kid is good. I mean, I don't know. But like I said, it goes back to that transfer portal. We go get a kid just like him that's already in that portal. So it just sucks with some of these seniors and juniors that's not getting the recognition they need to get a scholarship. But, I'm right there with you guys. Who I think Carl Albert can win another one, that 6th one. I would love to see Reed DeQuazy get one. Yep. It'd be a good story to have on this show. We will have him on this show when the season's over, so he can tell it all. Keep it 100. I think everybody will want to be tuned in for that one because I might even have his daddy sit on the other side of him. So that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
And he will have a cut-off shirt on. Sleeves cut off with his flip-flops on. Might be still on the ground. And he have a dip cup in his hand. Mr. Richie DeQuazy.
So that was McGinnis and Guthrie, but there's a few more games.
You got the
Pryor and Collinsville.
Collinsville and Pryor.
Yeah.
I think
that's for the 1 seed.
I think Collinsville's just they're
just
I think they're just in a weak division, brother. I think they're both. I mean, both teams are okay, but I think the toughest team in 5A is going to be McAllister. But you got to watch some of those other teams, like you got to watch some of those other ones. Ardmore, some of those other teams.
Ardmore and Long Mac next week will determine who's the number 1 seed coming out of that district, but you also have Coweta playing Bishop Kelly, which will determine the number 2 seed in their district.
Coweta gonna beat them, man. I mean, it just shows you how good Lot Mackey. I mean, not Lot Mackey, but MacArthur is because beating them 35-2. Man, they just put a smackdown on them. I mean, you know, we had Mason Ford on here, but I just tell you, man, he didn't do enough to slow McAllister down. I think I said Mike, but McAllister down because I just think they're the best team in 5A, and everybody else is just playing to get there to play them.
Yeah. Let's see. Interesting about. I mean, this will all fix itself this week, but you got a 3-way tie in 5A District 3, which that's where McAllister's at. You got a 3-way tie with Coweta, Bishop Kelly, and Shawnee, and that's by record and points.
Shawnee got beat last week, man. They got beat pretty bad, so I don't know if they're still in the hunt.
It says right here. I mean, they're the only ones close. I mean, the next closest team would be Will Rogers, and they're at 2-3. So I think they're already out. And then Shawnee, they have McAllister on their schedule and Bishop Kelly. So I mean, they do have a tough.
That's 2 L's.
Yeah.
So they probably won't get it. Great. I mean, I did give it up to Sexton last week. Great job, Sexton. Heck of a year.
I still think they'll get in as the 4 seed, though.
They will.
Okay. So, well, congratulations on making the playoffs. Who else we got, Big E?
Let's see. Let's move on to 4A. You got Hera at Blanchard. I thought we were talking earlier. We thought it was going to be at Hera. It's at Blanchard this week. You know, that'll be a huge game.
It's hard to go on the road, man, when you're fighting for a spot. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, Coach Blink, I hope you got those boys ready. It's going to be tough to go up to Blanchard and beat them. Like, I'm a firm believer, home cooking.
Yep.
That's why everybody always go home and eat mama's cooking for Thanksgiving.
You know, and Hera, they're sitting at 4-1 in their district. I mean, they're in the toughest district in 4A. Probably one of the tougher districts in the state, regardless of class.
Yeah.
You got Tuttle, Blanchard, and Cushing in there. And not to mention, you know, John Marshall, Ada. I mean, that's one of those districts where you go into the season, you don't know who's going to come up on top of that conference. I mean, there's just so many good teams that are in that district right there. So I mean, you never know. But with that, you know, everybody has a chance.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's not no, you know, blue blood team that's in there that's going to go in there and, you know, mess it all up. Kind of like a Carl Albert. You know, I hate to say it, but they're kind of in an easy district as far as 5A goes.
Let me educate you.
Educate me.
So, in the last 3 or 4 years,
I mean, they got Bishop McGinnis in there, so I'll give them that.
Bishop McGinnis is always in the state game, and Carl Albert's in the state game, and then before Carl Albert got back on their run, Guthrie was winning it. So when you look at the last 10 years, the top 3 teams that's in state is Guthrie, McGinnis, and Carl Albert.
All right.
All right.
I'll eat my L on that one. But yeah. So let's talk about Hera for a second once this gets loaded. They got a tough final couple games. They play Blanchard at Blanchard, and then they have Cushing on senior night. Thing about it, I mean, they already locked up their playoff spot. But how big would it be for the town of Hera to have their first playoff game in 6 years at home?
Wow,
that'd be huge.
It's big for the city. It's big for the for the community. It's big for their legacy. What Coach Blink is doing, it buys him 5 more years of coaching there, and it gets him to the not the hot spot of a bad hot spot, but a hot spot that people start looking at this young man like, hey, if he can do it at Hera, he can do it here. And so, and I think that's where you're at with him, man. But he doesn't want to go anywhere. But I think he got the town rocking and rolling. He's gonna be able to do whatever he wants in the town. So I think Hera will find a way to get to at least the semifinals. Don't know if they'll win it, but you know he's gonna get those boys there because I mean just the way he coaches and the way he gets them up, he's gonna get them there. I mean you kind of talked about the pregame, man, how they're hyping the smoke machine and everything. So I think Hera's gonna be fine. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing to talk about, 4A, you got Poto playing Fort Gibson this week. If Fort Gibson can get the win, they can move up their seeding. They can move up to that 2 spot, and depending on how Broken Bow does, they could possibly take the 1 spot. So I mean, season's far from over for those teams in 4A. You know, as far as like playoff position and seeding goes, because you got Poto. Let's say that Broken Bow wins out. They got Salisaw and Poto. You know, I mean, you got two teams up there. Like none of their seeds are locked yet. So man, what am I trying to say? This district isn't locked up yet. So, yeah, let's move on to 3A here. What we got going on in 3A?
I mean, we can talk about 3 all day long. You know, it's going to be Heritage Hall.
I don't think so. I mean, I think there's a couple teams that can compete in 3A.
Kingfisher?
Holland Hall. You got Verdigris that's doing good. Let's look at their rankings right now. So, you got Heritage Hall, of course, that's on top of their district. That's 5-0, undefeated this season. And then you got Lincoln Christian, who's also undefeated in their district. Then you got Holland Hall that's undefeated in theirs. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, 3A has a bunch of good teams in there. I don't think you can just go ahead and hand Heritage Hall the trophy when you got other teams that, you know, they're still competing in
Big E, Heritage Hall.
I got.
Sound like we got a chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich, Big Mac, whatever you want.
So
Big
what
E.
is it?
It's Heritage Hall, man.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about teams, Poto, Dodo, Hodo, and whoever else. Man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's Heritage Hall, brother. I mean, we're sitting here debating on it, man. It's just like, hey, it's like they said, we're going to give you a Toyota Corolla or we're going to give you a BMW X7. You're going to be like, I'm going to take that BMW X7. Come on, man. It's just the rich keeps getting richer and the poor keeps getting poorer, man. That's just where it is. Heritage Hall is going to win it. Dude, they're good. Every year they're good. I mean, all those teams you're talking about, they're playing to be for second. If somebody has to finish second, and Poto, Dodo, whoever else is in that is going to finish second. That's me keeping it 100. Man.
All right.
Let's move on to the next one.
All right. I think you're wrong, and you're going to be eating your words.
Hey,
one
thing about me, I am a guy that, hey, if I make a mistake, if I'm wrong, I fessed up. I'm not one of those guys going to go hide.
Pay up.
And pay up. And I'm not going to duck my tail and go hide. I'm going to keep it real. That's what we're here for. That's why this is the #1 podcast show in Oklahoma, baby. Keep it 100 Oklahoma High School Sports with my man RT and Big E. All we do is get it going. Get it corrupt in here. Yeah.
All right. And then 2A, we got the Bethel. What's their mascot? Wildcats. Bethel Wildcats playing Community Christian. That's their. Is that their senior night? You know.
I don't know. That's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, that will be the senior.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Everybody know who the toughest team is in 2A is, and that's Washington.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing to get there. You know, Coach Glenn is. You know, he's fired up. He got beat by Washington a couple weeks ago. He got a tough game in Community Christian. Then Purcell should be a cakewalk. Should be, hey, you know, come get your, you know, donuts for Dad's, donuts for Mom's Day. That's what game's going to be like because they're going to take care of business. Bethel will against Purcell. I think they'll have a tough game this week against Community Christian, but I think Coach Ginn got those boys. I mean, look, you heard the stats. I mean, you got a freshman quarterback thrown for 1,700 yards. Why ain't nobody talking about this kid? And that's, hey, and before we close this show, man, I want to get on a little debate, man, and I want y'all to be real with me.
Yep.
But I really think, like I said, I think Bethel has a chance. Is Jones 2A too?
Yeah.
You know, Jones and some of these teams are just playing for second fiddle, but I think Jones, I mean, they might make it first round, second round. They've lost some games they shouldn't have lost. I mean, Carson May's going to go off and have a great career at Iowa, but I just think right now, I think Bethel, Coach Ginn is dialed in. Washington, that'll be a good game. They can hook up again and see what he can do. Now he's seen him and faced him. Now he knows, what I got to work on. But one of the things I want to debate on, I know we kind of talked about scores and teams and all that, but people always talk about these QBs, right?
Yep.
A lot of these QBs get a lot of, you know, like this kid's good. But I'm going to tell you, man, I know people talk about Still Walsall a lot, but the kid at Deer Creek, man, really impressed me a lot. And I'm thinking, why ain't nobody talking about this kid? Why is that, RT? I mean, you've had a son that went play D1 ball. Why some of these kids get left off the board? Because I'm telling you right now, in 3 weeks when Deer Creek comes to Choctaw, and I know we all going to have playoff games we're going to be at.
Right.
But just watch those two. I mean, and I'm not, dude, I'm just going to tell you, that kid is 6-something and still 6-something, but I don't know. I think that kid's a senior. But just watch them two, man, and you hear about this kid a lot, but you never hear about this kid. And that kid, to me, he impressed me. He was better than what I thought he was, man. He really was, man. So I just wonder why some kids get left off the look. The PC North kid, I thought he was okay. I know his dad's a head coach. I mean, he's not great, But I mean, I think he's still a junior, so he got some work to do. And you know, the Wolf kid, I think he's good for West. For Moore. But some of these kids out here are studs at QBs, and they don't get the recognition they got. I think the kid over Edmond Santa Fe, Five Half or whatever his name is, he got a weird last name, but I think he's pretty decent. You know, I think Jinx got a freshman quarterback, but some of these kids get another level to compare to the other kid. But I tell you, the Deer Creek kid, me watching him play one game, and I know he only had one interception going into that Dale City game, and that's big time. But I was wondering why he don't get the recognition that some of the other kids get.
I don't know.
I couldn't even tell you. Like, sometimes it's the school you're at. Sometimes it's what coaches you got putting you out there and building those relationships. And then sometimes it falls back on the parents not doing their own homework, getting their kids in front of these coaches, whether that be at the camps, unofficial visits, at the games, or the kid itself is the academic side of it, or the size. You know, they don't meet that eyeball test where they're not tall enough or big enough, but, you know, numbers don't lie. Their numbers show.
Yeah.
Or there's another side of that. You may get someone that may have the best numbers ever in high school, but then don't get one offer.
Yeah.
So you just...
I just kind of wonder that because, I mean, this kid's a good-sized kid. He's 6'2", 6'3". I don't know. He was skinny, but, I mean, they could put meat on you. I mean, you redshirt a kid, you can put some meat on him, feed him right. You know, you eat 4, 5, 6 meals a day or even more.
Right.
And, that trainer's job is to put the meat on you, get you ready to go because, you know, me and you kind of talked about this. That trainer is your coach pretty much. He's with you every day. He sees you every day. He knows he's like Santa Claus. He knows you've been good, naughty or nice. He's checking the list and giving it back to the coach if you're doing your workouts, if you're going to class, if you're doing the things you're supposed to do. But I'm just kind of wondering that, man, because I think some kids get left off. I think the little running back at Choctaw, you know, I know I kind of said earlier, does he run a 4.3, whatever. But the kid's pretty good, though. I mean, every time you see the kid, he's making plays, and you're like, why that kid hasn't gotten offered? Because, and maybe it is his size, though, but the kid is pretty good. He does do some good things. I mean, I don't know if he's Presley, but even in the Bigsby game, he did still do some good things, and he opened some eyes up. So I think a lot of times kids get left off, and you know, and they get stuck on this one kid, and like, oh my God, this kid's the greatest. But you know, I don't know. I just think it's crazy, though. I will, you know, I'm glad I ain't got to do the recruiting thing for another 6-7 years. I know people say, man, Tony's stupid. He put Zoe's videos. No, I'm not. I learned from some of these other parents. I watch them and see what they do with their kid, posting their videos. Somebody's going to catch eye on Zoe and be like, oh, my God, I like that girl. I got her working out with high school girls, man. I mean, I'm having her working out, doing what high school girls stuff do because when she gets there, she's already ready, prepared.
Right.
You know, the biggest thing she got to keep working on is that jumper, and we work on it a lot. But, you know, she's humble. She's a good kid. I mean, I'm saying it because she's my kid, but she is a good kid. She doesn't act like she's the best on the court. She is a passer first, scorer second, and I'm trying to make her become an Iverson. Score.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. But I just, you know, I've seen the recruiting game, and with this one, I'm going to do it totally different. With my nephew, I'm going to do it totally different. With my granddaughter, you know, when I start having more grandkids, I'm going to be that guy at every game. I don't miss none of my kids' stuff unless I'm tied up or somewhere, but I'm at all my kids' stuff, and I know you're like that with your son, and I know you'll be like that when you have kids, Big E. But I just tell you, man, it's fun doing the show because we can talk about a little bit of everything. You know, we've been talking more college football. We talk about recruiting. We talk about kids. We got kids coming on the show at 10 years old, and that's what we do, man. I mean, because people's going to be like, man, why do you have that kid on? And then 4 or 5 years down the road, be like, that was a kid on Keep It 100. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, we'll start talking about the future, not kids that's about to graduate. Start talking about the future because that's what pays the bills down the road is the future, not tomorrow. Because they'll be going tomorrow, but let's talk about the kids that we got today and that, hey, that can help us grow this show from young men, young women, and you know, and I think that's good for a young man like his age to get on and talk on the phone. You got high school kids that I do interviews with, man, they don't know what to say. And that's something that you got to get better at when you go to college. They're going to put a mic in front of your face. They're going to ask you to talk. And then one thing is when people see you in front of a camera and you can't talk, they're going to remember that and make fun of you. It might not be your college. It might be the opposing team that you play. Hey, you're that guy that good dog. So, I mean, that's just how it is, man. I mean, you know, Adrian Peterson back in the day, you know, he had a stuttering problem. You know what? Guess what? He got in front of that camera. Now you see him doing those commercials, air conditioning commercials. What's that commercial with Jason White? Air Comfort Solutions. You know, I mean, he's on there doing it. I mean, I guarantee you that's Adrian 10 years ago, he was hell no, I ain't doing that. But now he's in front of a camera, he's talking better. So
you can take it a step further. We had Eli Debusk on here. That was probably his first interview.
Yes, sir.
But it definitely will not be his last. And I'm talking about outside of sports. I mean, as you start your career, you're going to have to go through several interviews.
Yes,
so
sir.
if you're
Yes,
already giving him the experience, you're equipping him for success.
And I thought he did a great job.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
He really did.
Great job.
And I tell you, I mean, when people go back and watch it, like, why was he picked? It was something that me and Coach Roman picked. I mean, it's not that we love every kid, every 18 kids on the team. You only can pick them, I can't pick them all, but, he's a kid that always has a good attitude, always has a smile on his face, always teaching and learning and showing other kids. And that's what makes him special to me, because I've coached some great kids, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I've coached some good kids, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but just to coach this young man, and I will say this will be my last year coaching. I don't care who's playing. I'm done. I'm lying. I'm lying because I told Jonah I will coach Noah. But don't tell my wife that yet, though. But no, guys, I enjoyed you guys coming on, man. It's always good when you got you two guys on here with the knowledge of what we learning, and I know we got our iPads out, and RT got the notes on the phones, but he brings the knowledge to us, man. And I mean, I think talking OU football gets people dialed in. They want to hear what we got to say about OU football and UCO, and that's what we're here. We're talking about Oklahoma sports, man. I mean, granted, it might be high school, but we're going to talk about college too, because hey, they're a big part of our lives. It starts Friday night and then ends on Sunday with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, them cowgirls, man.
There you go.
Okay. Y'all got any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
No, just make sure y'all are liking, subscribing, commenting, man. It goes a long way, so we appreciate that. Hit us on Twitter. You can hit me at Ethan_Z_Davis. Where can they hit you at, RT?
Big RT_Sherman. That's on Twitter. But yeah, I want to piggyback on what you said. Right. Young players that have that want to play at the next level. That's what we're here for. We're looking for you to send us your highlights, send us a breakdown of your GPA, what schools are interested in you, what schools you would like to attend or build those relationships. Let us be another platform for you so that we can help you build those relationships and get the exposure needed. And hopefully it'll work itself out. You get your college degree paid for, and you can start the real life.
Yeah.
Well, piggyback off you, man, I want to say something I didn't get said earlier. We always talk about the Carl Albert DNA, and one thing Carl Albert does, they talk big about their education. They had a young man on last week, Charlie Fleming, won Homeland Athlete of the Week, carrying a 4.0 great GPA all through high school. That's pretty good. I mean, I got to know his dad. His dad was my son's wrestling coach for a little bit over at Carl Albert, and I know he switched from playing tight end to help the team going down to offensive lineman, wearing his dad's number 61. I know his dad was really proud to see his son wear his number. And that's pretty cool, as a father, to see that your son will do that. But as a father, I know Big Charles is happy to see his son get that award, 4.0. Folks, you can't take that away.
Nope.
You can't take that away, and that's real talk, because, hey, he's going to get his school paid for. It might not be for football, but he's going to get it for academics, and guess what? One day he might be your boss. So, because right now you might be on top catching passes, knocking down balls, but at the end of the day, you got to go work for somebody, and you might be working for Fleming's, whatever he does. So, congratulations, Fleming family. Great job with that young man. That's cool. Coaches at Carl Albert, that's something that tells you what you guys are doing over there. Coach Dunn, Coach Farley, and Johnson, and all you guys, Coach Cam, great job over there. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry, but RT got my on that, but great job. Thank you for watching another great episode of Keeping It What?
Keeping It 100, Oklahoma High School Sports. See you next week.